Thanks for tuning in to Jam Happy Hour, benefiting Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. I'm Michelle, the M in Jam Sellers, that with my husband John, we started a decade ago. Live music has always been part of our DNA, and it feels great to host you with our easy-to-love wines while also helping musicians in need. Sweet Relief is a non-profit fund that provides financial assistance for career musicians and industry workers who are struggling to make ends meet. Over the past year, we've surpassed our goal of raising $25,000 for the fund. And with your help, over the next 12 months, Jam Sellers is committed to raising another $25,000 for Sweet Relief. Simply listen in, comment, share, or like, and Jam Sellers will donate $1 up to $2,500 per show if you do. Plus, you can click or text to donate directly to Sweet Relief. So pour yourself a glass of butter Chardonnay and get ready to enjoy some new music. Cheers.
Cheers indeed. Welcome into the Jam Happy Hour on this lovely Friday. We're so excited to have you here with us, benefiting the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. And I'm super excited about tonight's guest of many titles, actually. Please welcome in Emily Kinney. She is with us today from Los Angeles, California. Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
It's so good. I'm so glad that we get to hang out on a Friday night and enjoy a little bit of wine, enjoy a lot of your music, and just kind of get to know you a little bit better. But you are the woman of many titles. And what that makes me think, when I look at your Instagram and it's like musician and actor and songwriter and poet and coffee lover and all these things, it makes me think that, you've just always kind of been a creative person. Is that your outlet? Is that how you've always been?
Yeah, definitely. Ever since I was little, first I always gravitated towards music as a little kid. And I just loved, my parents had a record player. And I remember I would listen to the Carpenters and memorize those songs. So it started with that. But then I think as I got older, music sort of led to, then there's musical theater and theater. And then I started to really just as a teenager love poetry and writing. And so, yeah, it kind of led to, I do feel like music was sort of my first in to like being a creative person. But I also just really started to love, I guess, just making things and making, plays with my friends. Or I remember making dances with, probably everyone does this as a kid, but like making dances with your friends in the backyard. And
oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's just kind of a part of how I like process the world, I guess,
At what point did you kind of realize, like, oh, hey, wait a minute, like I can do this, like I can make a career out of making this content and before content was a cool word, making up things and creating things and building them into these beautiful little nuggets, whether it be a poem or a song or a play. Like, right about what age did you go, maybe I can do this?
Yeah, from pretty young, like I would say I was 7 when, it was like 6, 7,
Wow.
I remember I really wanted to be in the Lions Club talent contest, and my mom said, oh, you're too little, like you're too little for that, and I signed up anyway, and I memorized my favorite things from Sound of Music.
Right.
And then I went and, got like second place and was kind of hooked, and I just started like singing a lot in church, and people would always say, "Oh, I love when you sing. I can hear the words." Aww. And I just felt like really like, oh, this is something that I do that's helpful or special, or
It's
so
pretty validating too, though, because especially when you were like, you're too young, and you're like, oh, and then I did so good, and then people keep saying things. You're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep cranking away at this, and then here we are, fast forward 2022, you've got so much music out there, you've got podcasts, you've got TV shows and movies, and like this long line of things that have come from that 7-year-old girl who just wanted to perform. That was pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel really lucky. I feel like it's surpassed any of my idea. I grew up in really small town in Nebraska and didn't know a lot of people who were doing that as a career. So I just thought like, I guess the goal was just to like be able to do it in any form, and then a lot has happened that has been beyond, beyond my
Like what you
my
ever thought it
first
could
initial
be.
dream, yeah. So
That's
I
so-
feel pretty fortunate, yeah.
Yeah. Doing all right. Just getting started, really. I mean, I just kind of have a feeling, like, especially after the last couple of years, I think everybody's ready to like come out swinging. Like, let's do more, let's create more, let's play more. And I know we only have an hour with you, and I definitely want to jump in on the music relatively quickly because I mean,
Yes.
I'm super excited to watch you perform, and I know we're gonna start with "Never Leave LA." Can you tell me a little bit about where
Yeah.
that song came from?
Yeah, this is an older song. I thought today I think last time I was on, I played a lot of songs from my new album, The Supporting Character, but I thought this time I'd switch it up and play some older songs. And I've always loved this song. I played it during a week that I was spending in LA playing Hotel Cafe and getting to know some new music friends in LA. And at the time I lived in New York City, and I thought, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be fun to just live in LA, and I didn't. Now I live here, but it was just sort of like a little dream, of mine. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll fall in love with someone and move to LA, and
And the rest will be history in
yeah.
a song.
So
And look at you now.
so now I'm here in LA, but this was I was in an Airbnb, so like I remember, the little. Actually, no, I wasn't in an Airbnb. I was in my friend Denai's apartment. She was letting me stay there, and I remember staying there and writing this song. So,
Cool.
So yeah, this is Never Leave LA. Feels like I'm floating with the world down below. Instead of walking on the sidewalk, I'm going with the flow. Instead of meddling hard lines, there is heaven and earth. And baby, I still got bruises, they don't seem to hurt. And I don't wanna waste another day. Have you got room for my suitcase? Oh baby, call me over, beg me to stay, and I'll never leave LA. Or maybe it's the sunshine or the tall palm trees. Maybe it's your light blue eyes that got me weak in the knees. But baby, I don't need strong legs for just swimming in the sky. And if you're somewhere beside me, I seem to just stay high. And I don't wanna waste another day. Have you got room for my suitcase? Oh baby, call me over, beg me to stay, and I'll never leave LA. Through the haze of the smog and the smoke is a pink sunset. And tattooed on my body is our winning bet. And as the city sky darkens, I'm headed to your house. If there is such thing as true love, we got it all figured out. And I don't wanna waste another day. Have you got room for my suitcase? Oh baby, call me over, beg me to stay, and I'll never leave LA. Leave LA. Never leave LA.
I love seeing all the comments and everything pop up. I mean, obviously, what a great song. What a great story too. Like, I love how you
Oh,
set it up with like the, oh, if I could just like fall madly in love and I can stay. And like, you really do kind of feel that story in that song. Again, it goes to your writing. It's just, I love a good story. I love when a song kind of cuts through and just kind of takes you to somewhere else, which I think music has been so important for eons and eons, but especially in the last couple of years. Like if
yeah.
you want to escape and you want to dive into some other place, like obviously music like yours can help you do that. And I want to remind everybody, for every comment and every like and every share, like bring your friends in on this hour of music with Emily Kinney. We're going to donate $1 to the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. It's just that easy. Also, if you have any questions and you're curious, and Emily is going to hang out here with us for a little while, maybe we'll be answering some of your questions as well. So feel free to toss them up there, because every question will donate $1, and that's what it's really all about. So you write a song about never wanting to leave LA, and then
Yeah.
now you live in LA.
Yeah, sometimes I do feel like my song is sort of like sometimes what I sing about then like comes true, a little like almost like a
But you and I
yeah.
have something in common, I believe, because I've read that as a child you did move a lot. I mean, you grew up in Nebraska and like in a smaller town, but you guys didn't stay there.
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly Nebraska. Like most of my extended family, and my parents were like met in North Bend, Nebraska, and that's where my grandparents lived. So that was always kind of like the hub, I guess.
Right.
But when I was really little, we did move around a lot. Like we lived in Nevada, Oregon. We lived in a few different towns in Nebraska. So, but always kind of the same. Like my dad's an agronomist, so always kind of those like farmland, farm towns.
Sure.
So my dad, so an agronomist, people know, like sells seed and fertilizer to farmers.
Thank you for
helps
explaining
their,
that.
Yes, helps their plants grow. So then naturally we ended up in kind of rural areas.
Sure.
Small. So yeah. But mostly,
I moved a lot as a child as well.
Okay.
And it was for a while there. I went to 5 high schools, 4 different states, and like moving a lot between military and family changes and this, that, and the other. I always, now on the other end of it, at the time it's not fun to go through, but I think it made me a better person as far as being able to handle a lot of different situations, because when you are the new kid in town, especially a small town, like everybody knows you're fresh, you're new, you're business. They're going to make up stuff. They're going to, try to be the first one to get to you. Like, do you think that had an influence on, obviously an influence on your upbringing, but do you think it kind of had an influence also on maybe your perspective of your songwriting a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably instilled a little bit of like being able to move to new places and go to, even just the move from like Nebraska to New York City, and, having had done moves across the country before with my parents, I guess, I do think it made that a little less intimidating. And like you said, having to like make new friends and that
Put
kind
me
of
in a
thing.
room.
Like,
I can talk to anybody.
I was definitely shyer, but I think just that idea of like you can go to a new place and it can be okay, and you can like find ways to make it your home. And with this particular career, you do end up in a lot of different cities, a lot of different places.
So you go from Nebraska. Obviously, you go through college. You study theater, and you're gonna make the move. You're doing the move to New York. What was that experience like?
Yeah, I think about that once in a while.
Is it as overwhelming as I think it would be? Because
what's funny is it's like now sometimes I'll think about making big moves or big changes and feel so overwhelmed. But when I was young, it was just something I wanted to do so much, and I didn't really have anything to lose, I feel, at all. Like so I just and I thought I feel like it's that thing of like I knew like staying would almost hurt worse than not going, because I wanted, I think that's a good, like anything you're meant to do. I do think there's a point where you reach where you go like, oh, not doing anything is actually hurting worse than just going ahead and doing the thing.
that is a great way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was overwhelming, but I also was lucky to have like parents who were definitely like, yay, that'll be a fun adventure, go off. Like, I don't think they thought I was going to stay, but I think they were definitely, they were there for me in that way. And, I was lucky to like meet some people and make friends and So.
And find work and, continue to build upon, the acting and obviously I'm sure, musical influences and that as well. So that's a big move, but that's really exciting. And clearly it's worked out for you, but to go from a small town like that into such a big situation and then even bigger to jump into LA after that, like that's a big story and one that you're still just building upon because like I said, we were saying earlier, like you still like to do like all the things, like you are doing the music and the songwriting and the acting and the podcasting. And it's like, do you like downtime? Do you not like downtime? Like, are you just always a busy person?
You know what? I actually thrive with a little downtime because I feel like that's when I think of more songs or,
okay.
I really like time to myself to just sort of wander. So I like a good empty day with nothing to do. However, I thought I loved that until I guess like the pandemic happened and you no longer had a choice, a good empty day seemed sort of endless. So So I hesitate. That used to be so much a part. I'd be like, I would love a good empty day where I have like no social obligation, just to sort of like go on walks,
extra coffee.
And like let my mind wander and maybe think of a little poem or even just whatever,
Yeah.
And now I've had a little, maybe too much of that. So
I don't think you're alone
like
in
most
that.
musicians and so I would say I would love to just have a little structure. Maybe like it'd be nice if like to go to set somewhere, or even like play a few more shows. And I know we're all just starting to get back into that. And so
it's like there's light.
Yeah, but I do think I'm one to like, I like it to a point, and then like you said, I start a podcast or I
like I need something else to do.
Yeah, I have to like keep moving, I guess,
We will talk more about that in just a bit, but I would love to jump in on a couple more songs. Can you tell us about what you're about to sing?
Yeah, so this actually goes great with what we've been talking about. This is a song I wrote. It's called Omaha Hotel. This is the next song I'm going to sing, and it was on my newest album. And I wrote it after having not been back to Nebraska for quite a while, but I went back for a funeral. And it was difficult to go back and for that reason. I had missed, I think with this career you miss a lot of, unfortunately, weddings, or you miss new babies, or like I would have loved to go back for something like that. And there's also something about going back to a hometown and sort of seeing it in a different light as an adult as opposed to a kid. And so this song is kind of just my reflections on being back in Nebraska.
Okay.
Well, the flood took the town, the fire took the bank, and no one has the money to recover what sank. Rusted out trucks, big heaps of metal. I'm sure this place was greener when I was little. Straight from the airport to fire and fury, but always love the part where we pray to Mary. I'm searching the back for the faces like mine. Now there's one less face to find. Omaha Hotel, where I spent the night. I'll watch the bugs fly around in the parking lot light. Couldn't catch a wink, sleeping in my blue jeans. Tears in a church kinda kill my dreams. I stepped away for a minute to get myself together. Watch them turn in the soil with the turning of the weather. And all at once, there were no more chances. I wish we could have caught up under better circumstances. Well, I missed your babies, missed the wedding with the wrinkles on our face. Nostalgia is setting in. Omaha hotel where I spent the night. I'll watch the bugs fly around in the parking lot. I couldn't catch a wink, sleeping in my blue jeans. Tears in a church kinda kill my dreams. I stepped away for a minute, sat on the steps. I stepped away for a few years. I straightened my dress. If I said I regret leaving, I'd be lying. Just wanna live my life, and this place is dying, dying. Omaha hotel where I spent the night. I'll watch the bugs fly around in the parking lot. I couldn't catch a wink, sleeping in my blue jeans. Tears in a church kinda kill my dreams. Oh, 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 oh. Well, the flood took the town, the fire took the bank, and no one has the money to recover what sank. Cool. Oh, I can see you guys's, I didn't notice. I could see some little comments. Someone just said, cute. Thank you. Her voice, oh, angelic. Thank you, Sarah. That's cool. I've been looking down so much I hadn't even noticed. Anyway, I'm gonna play another one before we chat. This one is also on my new album, and it's kind of about how I just saw my mom's comment. This one's has my mom in it. It's called Genetic Makeup, and it's kind of about how me and my sisters and my mom, we all have got some of the same gifts and same issues. My mother memorizes the dates of those who have died. She visualizes the numbers, buries them deep inside, somewhere close to her heart. And when it's been a few years, she digs up all the memories, waters them with her tears. I think I got the same genetics. It's why I can't sleep at night. It's why I'm sensitive to sunburns. And I forgive but can't forget. I'll fight, empathetic to my detriment. I'm so aware of every space I take up. I'll fall in love and it's forever. It's just my genetic makeup. My sister called me crying. A low blow left her reeling. And I imagine her in her bed, screaming at the ceiling. She says she's packed to go, but I know she'll never leave. 'Cause when it comes to giving her whole heart, my sister's just like me. Yeah, we got the same genetics. It's why I can't sleep at night. It's why I'm sensitive to sunburns. And I forgive but can't forget. I'll fight, empathetic to my detriment. I'm so aware of along for the ride. Oh, oh, I'm just along for the ride. Oh, oh, I'm just along for the ride of the rhythm and for whom my heart beats inside. Oh, oh, I'm just along for the ride. Yeah, we got the same genetics. It's why I can't sleep at night. It's why I'm sensitive to sunburns. And I forgive but can't forget. I fight, empathetic to my detriment. I'm so aware of every space I take up. I fall in love and it's forever. It's just my genetic makeup.
Of that. I love the timing of your mom popping
yeah.
up and commenting right as you go into the song about, hey, Ma.
I know, it was so perfect.
So cheers to your mom.
Yay,
Take a minute, have a sip, have some water, take a breath. Beautiful music. Thank you so much. I just want to remind everybody that this is, we're spending an evening with Emily Kinney to raise money for Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. So I love all of the comments and the love that you guys are showing to her, because each and every comment and like and share is donating $1 to this really great fund that helps with music venues and musicians and backline and front of house and just the whole thing that's really taken a hit during the pandemic. And even before the pandemic, they were doing this. So it's a really great fund that we love to support. And I want to say an extra special thank you to Trevor Wilson, who donated $100 to the fund while listening to Emily sing just now. I think about to Omaha Hotel, and you were talking about how, life got busy, and it certainly has happened, for everybody. Life gets busy. You got really busy acting. You got busy, living life, and you stumble into this little show, The Walking Dead, as in you worked very, very hard and earned it, and it was awesome. And that is a whole different level of supportive fans and attention. And I have a friend of mine that was on the show later after your season, and just knowing kind of what he went through and kind of seeing the similarities in just the amount of love people have for that character, for Beth, or for, your time on the show. Does it ever really fully sink in that you're a part of something that's that big?
Yeah, I mean, I have moments. I think when I was in it, it took a minute, like when I first got on the show, it wasn't as mainstream, and it was kind of while I was on it that it really started to grow. And I mean, I've definitely had, just moments, where people either recognize you, or even things like, we did a premiere once at Madison Square Garden, and it was completely packed and sold
Small
out.
place.
And like going out on stage and feeling that, I mean, that's not, it's incredible. And it's hard for me to even, it's hard for me to totally understand, like
the size of it.
Like I can't. Many, when I remember we would get like the reports of like, oh, like 23 million people tuned in, or 25, like at its height. So like to imagine that, it's hard to kind of like in your brain understand that number. But it's but mostly it's so cool because, like you said, it's such a love for the show. The fans of The Walking Dead are so special, and a lot of times they have found my music. I was really lucky because the character of Beth sang on the show as well.
Yeah.
And so I think like that made people kind of check out my music, and it's so special. And there haven't been a lot of things I've been a part of that have had that same kind of fandom.
I'm sure you were, I mean, obviously, because you love to write and that's kind of like your outlet. Were you like, were there any songs that you actively like wrote during that time that maybe kind of took on like a little bit of like what you were going through on the show?
I mean, I wrote a lot while in where I lived was near Sonoy, kind of Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be there a lot and have days, I'd have lots of days off. So I wrote a lot in that little apartment that I lived in. And so it all brings me back. There's a song called Last Chance. And that one was definitely inspired by like the idea of like apocalypse. And if you listen to the words that I use, it's definitely like inspired a bit by the show. Like this is our last chance for love in like the apocalypse, kind of.
Oh, cool.
Like it references some things. And then even like I have the song Rockstar, and it kind of is this kind of silly, fun song about how I want to marry a rock star, and it mentions at the end like, oh, I'll send you the unreleased stuff from Walking Dead episodes so you don't get bored on the plane, So,
Nice.
So like I definitely it's a part of my life, and so and then even just like the places, like I have this song Easy where I talk about from Atlanta to Greenpoint Avenue, like I'm going all these places, and so just even the amount of travel that I was doing to help promote the show, or just back and forth from Atlanta to New York, that found its way into my songs as well.
Very cool. It seems like you like to take your, obviously your experiences and put them into your songs. I know some people maybe aren't 100% comfortable with being like, oh no, I wrote this from an idea that I had, but you seem to put a lot of your life into your songs, which I think is really cool. And I think it also helps connect your songs, to obviously all the people that are popping up and saying thank you. But over all the years and all the albums and like all the music, I think there's an authenticity to that I think now more than ever people are craving, especially with social media kind of being the way that it is. Because of social media, we get to connect and share you and your music and raise money. There's some good things to it. But when you look at social media overall, do you think of it as like friend or foe?
That's such a great question, because it's one that's been on my mind so much lately. Because like you said, I love being able to connect with the fans. Yeah. I love that in between, even just my music career, I feel like I've been able to have more control over my music career because of social media and that kind of thing. However, I don't want to be addicted to them. I feel like sometimes all the content can sort of water down certain messages, or, you're not exactly the best writer if you're like constantly
doom scrolling.
Yeah, doom scrolling. like sometimes I'll be like, okay, well, looking at social media can be inspiring, but on the other hand, it can become very addictive. And I'm sure everyone's had this experience where they've been like, whoa, what was I doing for the last half hour? And I do start to feel a little like I want my time back. So yeah, there's got to be some sort of, happy
I want a social network for nothing but puppy videos and music, just puppy videos and music and wine in there.
Yeah. I follow a lot of like musicians I love too. So I do like it ultimately. Yeah. But I think just for your own, it's always good to monitor like how it's affecting your day and time and mental health and all that.
I try so hard not to pick it up first thing in the morning. It's like, I got to get my coffee. I got to have some meditation time. I need to take a deep breath. But it's just like, if it's going bling, 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 you're like, we'll get into coffee though in a minute. But I know I do not want to run out of time with you. With music, and I know you have a couple more songs we have a few more songs that we really want to get into and play for everybody that are hanging out with us tonight. And please, if you guys are enjoying the music, comment, like, share, because every time you do that, it donates $1 to this amazing Sweet Relief Musicians Fund, which we are so thrilled here at Jam Cellars to be able to promote with Emily Kinney tonight. So enjoy the music, comment, show all the love in the world while she's singing, because now you know she can see them. And,
I didn't notice them before. I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Little love coming your way.
Yeah, it's more like I actually get to, since I can't see any of you in
but
the audience,
see.
But now I can see the little comments, so that's very nice. And the comments donate more money, so comment as much as you can,
Double win.
Yeah. So the next song I'm going to sing is a song that, I get requested a lot. Like, I feel like it's a lot of people's favorite song. So it's an older song. But it's kind of about being stuck, kind of in that time in summer before school started. And all the summer activities have ended, but now summer is just kind of like really long days. And I feel like maybe the pandemic has felt that way a little.
I was getting that.
Yeah, like when does the next chapter start? So I actually wrote this before the pandemic. Yeah, but I think that idea of like feeling a little like stuck in life, like I know the next chapter is supposed to be, or it seems like I'm like treading water here a little. So kind of stuck in the dog days,
Dog days, perfect.
Yeah. So this is called Popsicle. Indian summer, how much more can I take? I'm begging for the heat to break. My throat is parched, my skin is red, fan blowing on my face in a sweat-soaked bed. Fall is a daydream from when I was young. Backpacks, bonfires, cool in the sun. Crickets and kisses beneath the moon. Sneaking upstairs to my bedroom. I could take back just one thing, I'd rewind to the last day of spring. You held my hand, you squeezed it hard. We walked until the streets got dark. Gave me some new book to read, saying I hope you find what you need. And just like that, we're the broken-hearted. Just like that, my fever started. And the green grass turned to sand, the sky filled with the haze. We thought we wanted freedom, what we got were these dog days. And our lonely hearts are lazy, sipping a stranger's salty kiss. Begging for a body, we'll take anything we can get. Labor Day weekend, 90 degrees, a bottle of beer between my knees. A smoke, a sigh, a sideways glance. He's not the type to ask me to dance, not the type to hold my hand, but he once played in some famous band. An empty pool, we both take a dive. We leave that party for a drive, but his hands are like sandpaper. His eyes are dark and dull. Months of dehydration have really taken their toll, and our tangled torsos tighten as we're moving out and in. He leaves before the traffic, now I'm burning up again. And I'm angry when he leaves me, they love me not. Popsicle to my temples, I'm so fucking hot. And I'm frustrated forever about the air that hangs around. Wafted around my apartment, I can't cool down. Indian summer, how much more can I take? Just waiting for the heat to break. Thanks, you guys. All right. Okay, so, oh gosh, thank you. I'm getting distracted now by the comments, but I'm gonna sing another song that a lot of times I'll ask on Instagram, like, which song do you guys want me to sing at the live stream? And I get Mess a lot. I feel like Mess is such a fun one. So, I'm going to sing Mess. This is about a boy I dated back in New York City. And he had blue hair. And his blue hair would get on all my stuff, like the hair dye would end up, on clothes and pillowcases and things. It was very annoying, but I guess I didn't mind that much. I've got bruises on my body, scratches on my face, cookie crumbs, empty bottles all over my place, and my bathroom mirror seemed to lose its shine. When you leave, you always leave a little mess behind. When you leave, you always leave a little mess. Oh, I am cleaning out my cupboards, dusting off my frames, scrub my mouth with soap so I can't whisper your name, sweeping round in circles, trying to get you off my mind. When you leave, you always leave a little mess behind. When you leave, you always leave a little mess. Your cigarette smell, broken leather jacket taste, it lingers in the air right in front of my face. You're like a bar marker star stamp I can't scrub off. You're like a tattered ankle bracelet I can't seem to unknot. And if you wanna come around, I'm caught. It's so early in the morning, so late at night, when you pull my hair and start a little play fight. We are kissing in dark corners on your parents' floor, the kind of love that makes my knees and elbows sore, the kind of love that makes me just want more. Your cigarette smell, broken leather jacket taste, it lingers in the air and it stays all day. I've got a blue stained t-shirt, my scratches bleed. I'm sure everyone on the subway can see. You make a mess of me. Oh, I am usually so clean, baby, usually so sharp, but you always come around when I'm about to fall apart. I'm like a fragile house of cards, you're that small gust of wind, sweep by, quite the surprise, I'm on the floor again. Your cigarette smell, broken leather jacket taste, it lingers in the air and it never goes away. You're like a bar marker star stamp I can't scrub off. You're like a tattered ankle bracelet I don't wanna unknot. And if you wanna come around, I'm caught. And if you wanna get me down, I'm got. And if you wanna know how much, it's a lot. Come over, are we both in town? Come over, 'cause I want you around. I want you to rip up my dress. I want you to make me a mess.
You know what I like about, I mean, obviously I love your songwriting, but what I like about it, it's almost like multi-sensory, if that makes sense. It's like, especially like in Mess, like you can feel, trying to fumble around with the ankle bracelet, and you can feel the, oh crap, here we are again. And I know how this is going to end, but I don't care because I just want to be in this place with you. Just kind of sense of, that love and that wild love, and also the regret before it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the multi-sense thing. Like it's very interesting how we have many of the similar experiences in each and every individual life that you can put into a song, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like that's great that it comes, like, I've never heard it described multisensory, but you're so right, because, like, that even, like, fumbling for the right word, because it's sort of like little tongue twisters. Like, I've had people say,
Yeah.
and yeah, that is the feeling of when you're in a situation where you're like, ooh, this isn't good, but, like, it feels good.
But it's good.
Like,
Not good.
But it, like kind of, like, trying to figure it out, like, feeling sort of caught up in it,
Oh yeah, that's the word, caught up for sure. Yeah, you get all caught up into it. But even like I think because you take people to kind of down like a memory lane of fumbling with the twisted bracelet or there being blue hair dye all over things and
Yeah.
it's like I think we all have shared experiences in that. Obviously, a lot of comments came through because of that too. I've seen comments from Ireland, Brazil, Argentina. Obviously, the U.S. is in the house. There's some Canadian comments in there. So thanks to everybody who jumped in and have commenting. For every comment, there's $1 donated. I know our own Greg has just donated some money to the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund, as well as Trevor from earlier. So keep commenting. Cheers to everybody who's been doing so. I do. I'm going to give Emily just a second to relax and grab a water and have a sip of wine or whatever you may like. I want to tell you kind of what we were talking about off camera. There is something kind of new and cool and fun. And we were talking about the butter cab that Emily was enjoying last time she was on the Jam Happy Hour with us. But now the butter line has expanded and it has brothers and sisters in deliciousness. Oh my. There's not just a butter Chardonnay. There's a butter cab. There's a butter bubbles. They are different from the jam and the toast and the candy that you know and love already. So there's a whole nother line of wine coming from Jam Cellars under the butter name. So I cheers with my butter Cabernet. I know you've got butter Chardonnay kind of off to the corner over there. So cheers on that. And for everybody who definitely wants to try that out, please do. We love them. We're super proud of them. And we're excited to share them with the world. Like they literally came out like a week ago. So exciting times, new music, new wine, new friends. And I hope everybody is enjoying hanging out with Emily Kinney here with us tonight in the Jam Cellars Happy Hour. I know I certainly am. It's going by way too fast. But I did want to ask, you start off as a writer. You start off, as a music fan, a performer. When did you pick up instruments? Like, did you teach yourself to play guitar?
Well, I did start off actually with piano. So when I was little, I did take a lot of piano lessons. But once I moved to New York City and really started writing more, my friend Conrad was like, if you're gonna like be a songwriter and like play shows out in New York, you better learn to play guitar. So I got myself a guitar right before I went on tour with a play. Actually, August Osage County, and right before that, that was when I was first kind of like writing a lot of songs, and I just kind of started teaching myself like Taylor Swift songs on tour and like, things like that. And so and then throughout the years, I've, taken lessons here and there and stuff. But I kind of just had to teach myself. Luckily, I do feel like just music in general kind of like comes naturally, to me. So. But yeah, actually was more of a piano player, but it's funny. I don't really play piano a lot in shows. I have like maybe one song I'll play on piano, but,
well, it had to help with like, pitch and timing and reading music and, all that stuff. Like you had a good foundation for it, but you have to be musically minded for it.
Yeah, but it's definitely like, I feel like my guitar skills, I think something about learning it as an adult as opposed to like people who learned it as a kid, I do always have this sense of like losing it. Like I guess that's just part of performing. Like that is part of the magic, right, of performing, that you go out on stage and it could just go away. Like you're kind of falling forward and expecting that all the words come out right and but the extra step of it being your hands and
your mouth.
And
your
along
brain.
with the words and that everything. Yeah. So like I do sometimes have this to be complete. Like my hands are just going to like go away. And I feel like people, but like, I know, but I feel like people maybe who learned it as a kid, there's a little bit more of that muscle memory that's just.
And fearlessness.
So, yeah. Because there's something about, like, even just playing piano, sometimes I'm like, oh, I just know, it just feels a little more in me. Even though I wouldn't even say I practice piano as much as I try to practice guitar,
You know what could help with that?
What?
Caffeine.
Caffeine? Oh, yeah. Well.
Because I want to talk coffee with
you.
you. I mean,
I know.
I was drinking it like just an hour ago. I'm like, I've really got to stop this. But I know you've got a podcast called My Caffeine Withdrawal, but you're not withdrawing from caffeine because you love the caffeine.
So the idea of the title was like like when I get up this might be a little bit of depression.
Great.
But when I get up in the morning, sometimes it's hard for me to, even though I'm an early riser, it's like, oh, like especially I think during this pandemic or like times when I haven't had a more structured day and I've been like, what do I do next? You know? And like, so the idea was, well, what cures my caffeine withdrawal and like what makes me feel better in the morning? Like what makes me want to get out of bed? And there's two things, and that's pretty much, I either do the thing where I go, okay, just, you know, get out of bed and just make the coffee, you know, just get the water hot, grind the beans. You know, that's been very therapeutic to me as far as just like taking things in little steps. But the other thing that really helps me is sometimes I know you're not supposed to, but lay in bed looking at my phone and, you know, find the right song. And the right song inspires me and makes me want to like get up. Or even if it doesn't make me want to it just makes me feel more with the whole world. You know, it makes me feel more connected. Like
I do that every morning. Oddly enough, like I'll lay in bed and it's like, okay, it's time to go. I got to get up. I got to work out. I got to do something. And I'll go straight to my playlist and I just put it on and I crank it up and then it's on in the whole house. It wakes my kid up. We're like, everybody's up. Music's going. Then I go straight for the coffee. Yeah. But I don't do coffee like you do coffee because I do like quick, crazy, mom, give it to me fast coffee. Like you love it. Like you're in the game. You got the press, you got the beans, you got like, I love that you do that. Like it's an art, really.
Yeah, I got really into it, especially, I mean, and now I have my older sister got me an espresso machine as well. So now I can make also, like before at least it was like pour over, like I was really into making my pour overs. And that's still honestly my favorite way to make coffee is I like weigh the beans, I grind them myself, the whole thing.
Wow.
But now I have an espresso maker, so that means I can make, you know, Americanos and lattes and
all the fun things.
Yeah,
so if you guys haven't checked it out yet, do check out her podcast, My Caffeine Withdrawal, because it has not only it talks of coffee, but music and some of your favorite artists and just like life in general and kind of what you've been up to. So if you're wanting to know more of what's going on with Emily, I highly recommend checking that on all the platforms. Because it's just another great escape, you know, for all of us in the day to be able to kind of jump in to your day. I know the time is coming up quick and I know we've got more songs and I do not want to not be able to play these next couple of songs for everybody. So if you're feeling ready, let's jump in on that.
do it.
And then we can wrap it up. And you guys please keep commenting and helping us donate to this great fund while we enjoy Emily Kinney here in the Jam Happy Hour.
Okay, so I'm going to sing a song from my new album. It's called 15 Minutes. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I don't want to start a band, I want to start a family. I don't want to follow back, I want to follow through. I don't really know where I put those 15 minutes I found. But it doesn't really matter as long as you're around. Oh, lit up hot on a TV screen, crying to strangers about my dreams, drinking champagne on my own, scrolling through pictures on a telephone in a hotel room. If I could get those 15 back, I'd give them to you. I don't want to take your time, I want to take your weekends. I don't want to hold you back, I want to hold your hand. I don't really know where I put those 15 minutes I found. But it doesn't really matter as long as you're around. Oh, start a watch on your magazine page, but stars, you know, they live so far away. drinking champagne on their own, scrolling through pictures on a telephone in a hotel room. If I could get those 15 back, I'd give them to you. I know you think you want it, you're sure it's worth any trade, but take it from one that's lived it. Nothing is better than the love we just made. Seeking stories is a noble cause, but seeking fame will leave you lost. Drinking champagne on your own, scrolling through pictures on a telephone in a hotel room. If I could get those 15 back, if I could get those 15 back, if I could get those 15 back, I'd give them to you. Awesome. So I thought I'd finish with a song, another one of my favorite songs off the new record. It's called not 15 minutes. We just sang 15 minutes. It's called When the Midnight Fireworks Start, and I love getting to sing this just me and guitar, because the recorded version, I feel like a lot of you guys know this song because you're commenting, but the recorded version is so different than how I wrote it. So I get to sing it for you the way that I wrote it, which was, of course, just on guitar, very simple. So maybe you'll hear the words a little different or something like that. So I just feel like it's a nice, happy one to finish with about, knowing your own path and following your dreams, and you're on a different timeline than other people. Everybody has kind of a different journey and a different path, and not comparing yourself to anyone else. So this song is kind of a reminder of that. I'm a slow burn, driving fast through a city full of matches and gasoline leaks, full of people so shiny and pretty. I'm a slow burn, gotta give me a few more years, but there is nothing that can stop this fire. Broken bridges, no amount of tears. I'm a slow burn, about to take flame. When the midnight fireworks start, everybody will know my name, and it will never be the same, and it will never be the same, and it will never be the same. It's a short flight from the safe zone to danger, from the middle to the edges, from your family to a stranger. But there's a little light keeping me on the right path, getting used to the temperature. I am never gonna go back. I'm a slow burn, about to take flame. When the midnight fireworks start, everybody will know my name, and it will never be the same, and it will never be the same, and it will never be the same. I was crawling, I'm about to walk. And when I stand up straight, the whole world will talk. And when I snap my fingers, they will clap along, singing words by heart to every single song. I'm a slow burn, about to take flame. When the midnight fireworks start, everybody will know my name, and it will never be the same, and it will never be the same, and it will never be the same. Thanks,
That
guys.
is so good. I love that. Slow burn is such a good, yeah. Great words, great wording, great songwriting, great, really fast hour.
Yeah,
Which
it
is
went by
really
so
bizarre.
fast.
It's like, no, we need more. Thank you to everybody who's been commenting and liking and sharing and donating. I know Ho Chi Man also donated during that song as well to the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund, which I think is super cool. And actually, just a couple of questions before we jump out. I know that, you've been releasing music pretty consistently since like 2014. So it's not like this is just something new. Like, obviously, you have a really great catalog of music. And here we are, Expired Love came out in 14, release, up to supporting character just last year. Anna Nico had asked in the chat, like, what's next? Like, what's on the horizon for you, Emily?
Yeah, I actually last year already recorded, mixed, mastered a whole nother album. So
Oh,
I'm hoping in this next year, I do feel like supporting character. I'm still singing those songs and really, with
because you still keep calling it new. Like, that's your new
it
baby.
it feels new still because like I haven't really played that many shows with it, obviously because of the pandemic and.
Sure.
I feel like there's a lot of people still discovering it, so it still feels very new. But I had so much time and had a lot to write about last year. So I have a new album coming out this next year that you can all look forward to. It's going to be called Swim Team, or it is called Swim Team. So yeah, just getting that all together for you.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. And yeah, and I think people who follow me on Instagram, I do a lot of poetry, so I have a poetry book that's going to come out this year as well.
Your Instagram is beautiful. I mean, the way that you play with colors and just like, the way that you put yourself out there, like it's a really great account. And I can't imagine people aren't already following it, but if they aren't, they can find it at Emily Kinney because it's totally worth the follow. And I'm sure you can keep up with all the things that you're doing there. But aesthetically, it is stunning.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Wow.
Also stunning. You have a chance. Well, everybody who's watching along, obviously, we're going to keep up with you and the music. But I wanted to make sure, because I'm also a wine lover. You could win butter for a year. And while just being here, here's your little nugget for enjoying the music and getting to know Emily a little bit better. If you go to jamsellers.com/win-butter, you could possibly win butter for a year. I'm just saying, like,
Wow.
don't miss out on that. So cheers to you, Emily. Thank you for spending your time with us. It went by way too fast. We hope you will come back again sometime soon. And just please keep gracing us with all of your amazing talent and all the things that you do.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was such a good way to like end the week for sure.
It went by way too fast. So happy Friday and cheers to you. And thanks everybody for helping out tonight.